Good morning. Ashtar is eating our brownies. Leftover brownies. It's okay. They were good. So, I know we skipped a couple of days because it was Easter. Yeah, maybe just one day, I think. So, it was Easter Sunday, yesterday, April 20th, 2025. It was also the 26th anniversary of the Columbine shootings. Uh, Two teenagers went and shot up their school. They had apparently made a whole bunch of home videos that are available now on BitChute. You type their names in. And anyway, I posted it on Facebook. My Facebook is Honey Taco. And so you go to Honey Taco on Facebook and scroll down, and you'll see some videos that I left up there from BitChute. And the day before, April 19th, was the anniversary, I forget, a couple of years more, of the tragedy at Waco at the Branch Davidian compound. And that was pretty amazing that, everything the media and Congress, especially one Mr. Chuck Schumer and one Mr. Joe Biden, just wanted to contradict everything that every expert witness came on and said. And so all the lies are what most people uh, remember. They remember the lies. They remember that everybody called the Branch Davidians a cult, right? But they were just really, when you research it, they were a part of not the Mormons, the Seventh-day Adventist church, or still other little, there's little splinter groups. People get their own ideas about things, and they were simply going to gun shows. They weren't like stockpiling so that they could create Armageddon. They just were gun enthusiasts, like most people in Texas are, pretty normal. And the government turned it around to say, oh, they're stockpiling weapons. Everything that the government said basically was this dark mirror reflection, right? So the guy was just trying to teach people about the Bible in his little compound and live their own life. And I don't even know how it started. Nobody really knows how this started.
They were targeted.
But they were just targeted. The FBI, this cult. The cult is the Khazarian Mafia, also called sometimes Zionists. The people that work for the government, and then they're in the armed forces, or in all of the three-letter agencies. They are the cultists, and mostly they get their orders from this guy called the Pope. It's so funny that, and now today, or we learn that today's April 21st.
They're announcing his death.
They've announced his death. Now, if you look very, very closely at this guy that they were saying is the Pope, there's a video. It's so funny. He's being wheeled out one of his last days here on Earth. He's in a wheelchair. They're wheeling him out, and he's waving from the wheelchair. And then when he thinks that the cameras are off, he actually hops out of the wheelchair and jumps over a rope.
Sprints away.
He sprints away, and it's because he's really an actor, a British actor named Jonathan Pryce, who had a rubber mask that made him look more like the Pope. But he actually really looks more like Jonathan Pryce, and than he did the original Pope. It's so funny, and it's mind blowing for a lot of people. They just can't believe that the TV would lie to them when the TV is made. The entire invention, if you look at the patent, it is made for brainwashing and spreading lies. That's the ultimate lie factory, your television set. And now it's taken over social media, the same apparatus. So you might think you're listening to a rebel broadcast or something, but they're called controlled opposition. there's a lot of controlled opposition out there. It's still incredibly difficult to find truth tellers, even on the modern internet, they call it social media. So, anyhow, a few days ago, if we backtrack, let me see how many days, 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th. I guess it was the 17th of April. Let me look at my. Oh. Today's a great day if you want to get married or something right now. Oh, wait, no, that was yesterday. Let me get these days straightened out so you're not confused. Because it is a little bit difficult to make the change from the old. Now the Pope's dead, right? There's no calendar. There's nobody in charge of making this calendar. That was the Pope's calendar, right?
The Pope's
he's
bank.
actually been dead for many years. The original Pope Belargani, whatever, from Argentina, where he was in charge of making sure none of the child molesting priests got busted. He was a major cover-up
Allowed
artist.
to continue.
He just not only allowed it to continue, but those perpetrators are all, if you're covering up, it's because you're a perpetrator. And if your underlings get caught, they're going to point the finger right up at you. So you don't want to make sure that, your little minions can stay hidden away from their crimes so that they don't point out at you at your crimes. Okay. So this is from the Chilam Balam book, Prophecies. And this was on I believe on the 17th of April, 2025, is day 6 Ahau. And it says, there is thievery amongst them, disrespect in speech, insolence in the face shown toward the prophet lordship. The lies of their crazy speech come to cut their throats because of their broken words, so that they can be resurrected. They assemble for the judgment of our Father God. They are united, entering as Christians with those who are completed. All those born here all over the world will enter into Christianity. Now, by Christianity, this was written after the Spanish arrived, and it was an oral tradition originally in the ancient Mayan ways. So they're superimposing the word Christianity over what their idea of the one true God would be. And so, but it's saying that these Spanish people, these other people that came, there's thievery amongst them, there's disrespect in speech, right? Because they're just greedy and they want to take over the land and kill people, and they don't do anything for money and power. That's what the Europeans brought over here, their greed and all that. They didn't come to learn about the natives of the land and what their traditional ways are and be respectful. They're incredibly disrespectful of all that is not their traditional European system, which, of course, in Italy was the mafia system. So we're still dealing with that today. But the Pope, the modern Pope Francis, that just died yesterday, officially died yesterday. He had been dead for many years, and he's been portrayed by this actor named Jonathan Pryce, a British actor. And if we had good technology and time to figure it out, we could put the picture of the original Pope and Jonathan Pryce, and then the fake Pope and Jonathan Pryce. And
They will. Someone will.
You'll see it on the internet. I don't think it's soaked in. It's still early today that people haven't been posting that much. But you'll hear a lot of bullshit from the mainstream media and the wimpy, controlled opposition people that'll say how great and wonderful and kind was Pope Francis for covering up for all these murdered children and missing children and rape and crimes and
stealing money.
A bank. The Pope, he's the head of the bank, right? The bank called Vatican. They superimpose their religious ideas on there. So they get everybody in church on Sundays and take their tithe or 1/10 of all of their income of everybody that they control. That's why they want the whole world under their control. It's just a big piggy bank, right? They just keep sucking the people dry. You are a slave. If you paid your taxes this year, you're really, 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 really not in the know. You were in an unconscious state of, of reality that you've been programmed by the television and other sources that you submit. You must submit your will, your time, your energy, your family, and your values of everything that you hold dear to this religious organization. And even if you're an atheist or some other religion, you still submit and pay. If you pay taxes, you've not researched where your taxes are going. You know, what does that tax money do? It's not filling your potholes and building your highways, because we should have had flying cars a long time ago. Duh. They're just finally coming out now with electric helicopters service, but it'll be for the really expensive elite people still, because your underlings are just fodder and slaves, and you're just meat suits.
Keep working.
Keep working and shut up. Right? And you just have to really pull
Well,
your
the
head out of
world
your
is
ass.
divided by 3 entities, right?
London, Washington, and
Rome.
Rome.
Yeah. So London is the bank,
Finance.
and then Rome is the religion, and U.S. D.C. is the financial.
Military,
Yeah.
financial in London. Spiritual
Religion.
religion, which is the biggest head fake of them all.
But they all 3 get their hands into all of it, and it's not right.
It's all just a big bank, and the
Yeah.
Khazarian mafia originate in this place called Ukraine nowadays. That was their original homeland, called Khazaria, whatever. And the Russians had to chase them out because a long, long centuries ago, because they were just doing the most heinous, disgusting things for their god.
They may not have been human or
Well,
entirely
reptilian.
human. Yeah.
They actually claim to have one altered DNA strand that makes them special.
Okay, and this one's special. What are you doing? Okay, silly.
I'm glad
All
we have
right.
some humor in all of this.
Yes,
because
yes. Break
it
it
is
up
an
with some humor.
extremely serious.
It's serious.
Serious topic, right? So don't let them fool you and promote a new pope, right? They're going to have the smoke signals coming out of the window when they selected a new pope, but this should be the last one.
Should be the last
because they're
one.
bankrupt. Literally in 2022, this fake pope or somebody in the position calling themselves a pope, and it's probably just a board of directors underneath, but the pope and many of the, what are they, bishops or cardinals. Or whatever, all these people had been arrested and executed several years ago. Can't give you an exact date and time that happened. You'll have to do that research for yourself. I hope you do.
There was one cardinal whistleblower. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
we might hear
Carlo
Carlo.
Baglioni.
Yeah.
Baglioni.
Carlo something.
Anyway, there was a few good whistleblowing folks that took their spirituality seriously. I could see
Take your
the
spirituality
big
seriously.
joke that was this bank that we call to the Vatican. So they took all their money. The Pope ordered all their money, all their assets of everybody from the bank to go bring all their money into the bank in Rome.
Right.
And that was a real thing that happened. You can look that up also. I'm getting worked up here. I need some
September
good
of this
Mayan
year.
coffee.
The
No,
Pope.
that was 2 years or 2 or 3 years.
Oh, okay. 2024.
22.
Okay. We have some
Child.
sound effects.
Our toddler.
What's our 2-year-old doing right now? He's not even 2. I think he's like 7, 8 months, but he grows fast.
Okay, so listen, we are
All right.
in this time of the last 20 days of the sulking, the 260-day cycle. We're in the last 20 days cycle. It started of 7 Crocodile. That was the 18th of April. And then the 19th of April. 18th, 8 Wind. That was a good day.
Mm-hmm. We got a great massage that day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Rosember recommended his friend Sergio, and he came over, and we had the massage table in the art gallery. Sorry, our toddler's having fun over there. And anyhow, that was a good day. 8 Wind spiritual. Yesterday, 9 Askabal night. That is also like a hearth, and it is a day for dreaming the future. So our friend
Sarah.
Sammy,
Sammy.
Sammy, the astrologer from Keros, came to the art gallery Casa Aurora, and we sat and had a powwow and figured out our future plans for Keros. And May 2nd, oh gosh, I have to pull these other calendars, will be
That's a great day. Yeah.
So, but this is all happening in the period of the last 20 days of the Tzolk'in cycle, right? So 13 Ahau happens May 7th. So our event is May 2nd, 8 Eagle, which is a great day to send your prayers to heaven for abundance. And in this case, for now, abundance is still attached to the word money.
Mm-hmm.
So
it needs to be alignment.
Fundraise
yes.
this, and we're going to have a very successful time.
Yes.
And not only is it going to be just it's not one day, but the next day we're going to start a Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something, one of those crowdfund programs to raise the rest of the money that Sammy needs to complete the buildings on the site of Keros. He's got 3 or 4 buildings already complete. He needs about 3 or 4 more buildings, and then a big dome for the
activity center.
It's going to be amazing. Super duper amazing stuff. And we hope that you will support us. I hope that you will find it in your heart to purchase some art from my gallery space, number 10 Calzada de la Aurora, the Aurora Collective. And this is a lifelong thing. This is not something that's ever going to end. It's going to be perpetual cycles of 260 days, gone on for several thousands of solar years already. Of course, now the actual physical spin of the Earth is accelerating. And so the Pope's calendar was no good anymore. Anyway, it's all going to have to be adjusted. Maybe we'll have 400 days a year or something like that.
13 months would be good.
It's going to be a 13-month moon calendar. It's not dream spell. The Jose Arguelles is bullshit. That was another CIA head fake psyop. If you see anything called dream spell by this gentleman Jose Arguelles, that will always be fake and wrong and meant to brainwash you, and they're going to keep you tied to the Gregorian Pope's calendar. It's really kind of a sickness that people get when they get into that. But when you discover the real, authentic Mayan calendar from Guatemala that's been running for many, many thousands of solar cycles, you'll see why this is important. This is in our DNA. It's a DNA human-based calendar. It's got 20 days times 13 days, which is 20 fingers and toes, digits, the zygimal counting, and the 13 is our major joints: ankles, knees, hips, wrist, elbows, shoulders, and neck. Is 13. Your grandfather and grandmother come in on the 13
A full
days.
cycle's
So we have
260.
13th sun is going to come up on the defunct calendar May 7th. We're going to have to redo all that. It's going to be a global happening that we're going to have this council of the new calendar. I don't know who's organizing it. I wish they would ask me to do something about it, but I'm sure there's other Mayan scholars that are much, or shamans, not scholars, scholar at least. Anyhow, getting to the end of this, I swear. I really want to hear from your feedback of our videos. Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice clearly? Does it look okay? We're very low tech here. There's nothing but our handheld cell phone that we have, and
But the message is what's important.
the message and the feeling. Do you feel what I'm saying? That it is truth. Okay. Anything for the media, if they have a fancy set and $1 million lighting and cameras and all them expensive studio setup,
And sponsors.
it's probably got
Yeah,
paid sponsorships. And they report to the people that pay them.
right.
They don't report to you. They just read what the people that pay them. And if they say anything too truthful about the people that are giving them money, they get cut off and they
What
say
is it?
bye-bye. Like
Bill-
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Alex Jones has been disappeared and have this fake looking dude that is totally not Alex Jones, but tries to imitate his deep voice.
Look at his forehead. Look at his
Disgusting.
eyes.
His ears.
Feature for feature.
Suddenly
No way.
Alex Jones's ears just popped out and his head got straight and square instead of his big fat round face that he used to have.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And they're just happy to go along. Oh, this guy,
He's
yeah,
putting
Alex
it all
Jones
out there.
said this today, and did you believe it, Alex Jones? And blah. It's really even, and Tucker Carlson's probably a clone also. He's billions and millions and
Someone's
millions of
saying he's a
dollars.
woman.
Well, he always, I
There's
hated
a lot
his
of
bow
that.
tie. The people forget that he had that little red bow tie. Oh my
Right.
God, I hated him so much for that stupid tie. He was trying to be Orville Redenbacher giving you the news up there.
Something.
And now he's like the biggest thing. And how much is he actually giving us that is truth and not just a red herring? Oh, look over here. Look at all this. Look at all that. While forgetting.
You should be outraged.
You should be outraged. Oh, yeah,
Well,
he used to say that a lot. Don't tell me what the news is. Just tell me how I should feel about it. You should be outraged.
Was it Bill Hicks said? You're free to do as we say.
You're free to do what we tell you. You are free to do what we tell you. You are free to do what we tell you. That was Bill Hicks. He was a hero that was telling the truth, and he didn't last too long. And I'm telling you the truth, but I'm not getting paid by anybody yet. Hopefully, maybe someday.
And we hope you'll last a long time.
And I hope I last a long time. The calendar will last forever. Now, this book, nobody has this book, and that I know of. I mean, have not met somebody that carries around a copy of this book in there. But in the very last line of the book is who will communicate the word of the
Glyphs.
truly.
You correctly communicate.
Who will correctly communicate the word of the glyph truly. This is what I'm trying to do for you. This is not an act. This is not I don't know. Which person will be the diviner? Who is to be the sun priest? Who is going to communicate correctly the word of the glyph truly? This is a book that I don't know who else has another copy of this book. I'm sure there's somebody in Maya land somewhere. Somebody has this book and is taking it seriously. There's other towns, not other than Chumayel, and the Yucatec. Every town had their own book, their own sun priest, and their own person who was in charge of correctly communicating this word.
And it's very important to
So-
know there are dark forces, but we must practice.
The dark
The
is
light.
mostly defeated.
Yes.
The big, dark Anunnaki spaceships, Draconians, their big deal motherships, dark motherships have been eliminated from our realm, but they're minions, the ones who humans and reptilians who really enjoyed eating children, drinking adrenochrome that is blood gathered from frightened children, the pineal gland, and that kind of disgusting things. All wars, every single war in history has been feeding this reptilian group.
Feeding fear.
They eat the energy of fear. That's their water and air that they like. We need water and air. They needed fear and blood and sacrifice and all that stuff. That's all gone. The leaders of that, head honchos from the ancient Sumerian, Babylonian times, those things are gone, but they're henchmen and all these people that sacrifice their souls to be part of that they're still here, and they're freaking out wildly, and they're going to do everything they can to create more and more havoc. They're already thinking, what's the next pandemic coming? Is it going to be chicken pox or monkey pox or
Bird
sloth
flu.
pox? Bird flu. Bird flu.
I don't see the birds getting sick.
Give them some
Only in the
Robitussin.
United
Get
States right
Robitussin
now.
to the birds. Please.
Okay, guys.
Like us, share. You must share, tell your friends each video that we have, because we don't have any other promotions yet. We're going to look for some actual sponsors if we can find somebody within our truth movement.
Yes,
that understand.
we have an idea. It's on your shirt. That's an idea right there.
What?
Tracking natives.
This is not a tracking native shirt.
No, but it's mola.
No. Anyway, whatever. Good night. Ciao.
Love and light. Ciao pues. Stay positive. Stay in the light.